welcome back to the GSpot with Gentille. It's been a while, but here I am. I'm back, and today I'm going to talk about traumatic relationships. This is the relationship that has affected you for, your whole life. Basically, it has affected you for the rest of your life. Change who you are, and maybe change the way that you make decisions in life, in relationships. Now, I'm actually kind of here to talk about my experience a little bit. And today I have with me Alex. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And she's going to share some of her experiences as well, or that experience that we're talking about, which is the most traumatic experience. But today our format is just a little bit different. We're going to have kind of like, we're both going to be host and guest. So it's not like I'm going to be, grilling her and vice versa. So it's going to be, we're just going to talk. And I'm actually here because I really need to speak about my experience with the trauma that I've experienced in my life. And I've held on to it for about 10 years. I have suppressed it. And I think now, 10 years later, I'm ready to talk about it. And this is what this segment is all about. Okay? So, like I said, thank you, Alex, for being here and sharing, this time with me, and maybe having to listen to me, basically, but I want you to share some of your stuff too.
Absolutely. Sometimes I think just being able to express yourself and to get it out instead of holding it in, it is part of the healing process. It's where you begin to heal.
Exactly.
I appreciate you sharing this space for me. It's not always going to be comfortable. But truly, in order to get to the place where we are in a better mindset, we have to go through that process.
Yes. So I want to heal. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my most traumatic relationship. And like I said, it was 10 years ago. And I was with a guy basically after I was engaged actually before that. Okay. Before him, I was engaged to a wonderful guy, an executive. He was great. Gave me everything I wanted, but I was young.
Okay.
I was young. I was in my 30s, and we broke up when I was 32. But he didn't want kids or whatever, so it didn't work out. So it was a great relationship. So I basically had another relationship after him. That was the trauma relationship. So this guy, I was with him for about 4 years, and.
Was it from the beginning, or I mean, did you see early on kind of some of the things that you later learned? Because you say 4 years. 4 years is a long time.
Yes.
It's longer than some marriages.
Yes.
Okay. So in the beginning, it was good.
It was good.
Okay.
No, it was through the whole relationship. I didn't see what it really was. It only came out later. The lies, and the betrayal. The betrayal was so deep for me. The betrayal was so outrageous that, like I said, to this day, it has affected me in a way where I haven't been able to be in a serious relationship after that, basically, because I think from that relationship, it's made me second guess myself.
But before that, you didn't. Obviously, you had that relationship beforehand.
Yes.
That was wonderful,
yes.
Right? With the exception that there were a couple deal breakers that happened.
Yeah.
But up until this point, you were good.
I was good.
And you were confident.
I had great guys. I was confident, I was falling in love, and it was great. But this relationship really, really changed me.
So I'm curious if you said through, right, the trauma and the lies and everything came up after the fact, what was the reason that you then broke up then?
Okay, so the guy that I was with 10 years ago cheated on me with a transsexual.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so, and the betrayal isn't the fact that the person was a transsexual, and it wasn't the fact that he even liked transsexuals or wanted to experience, a different type of sexual experiences. It's not even that. It wasn't that at all. It was the fact that he lied about it, and he lied to me as his girlfriend for 4 years, living in the same house. And what really pissed me off is within that 4 years, and I'm very open-minded. Anyone that knows me knows that I am so open-minded. I'm willing to try anything.
That was going to be my question, right? Because to have that compatibility, and every and sexually also is to be open, right? It's just communicate,
Exactly.
share your wants and
desires and dreams,
right,
and even
right.
whatever.
So,
No matter,
right,
yeah,
right. Because you're not saying it's not the fact that that person was a transsexual that he cheated on with.
Right.
It's the fact that you guys didn't communicate
he
about
lied
it, or
about
he
it.
lied about
yes,
it. Okay.
because for the 4 years I was with him, and I, like I said, I'm pretty adventurous.
Yeah.
So I would try to put my
I want to hear about that, by the way.
Of course. So, I would try and put my finger in his butt.
Okay, yeah, tickle it, yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, I'm not into that. I don't like that.
Right.
Which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
because,
right, yeah. You're not just putting a finger in the butt.
Yes,
Yeah.
later you have a fucking big old dick in your ass. And that was okay.
Right, right.
Oh, so.
Why do you think that, well, first of all, so did you find out while you were in your relationship with him?
No, I found out actually when he left the relationship, because, okay, here's what happened.
Okay.
I'll tell you exactly what
Okay.
happens. Okay, so he hired this girl, right? And everyone thought it was a girl. And so this person was working for him. And I remember going, you know how as a woman you get certain feelings. You're like, is there something going on?
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird, right? You've been with someone for a while, you feel a certain way.
Right, or they change certain habits, right? They start doing certain different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
phone calls or whatever
right.
it is.
Something
It's
you have
a little
it starts with a
sneaky.
good starts with a gut feeling
You
first.
feel it right
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
I remember I went to his shop, because he owned the shop and he was the boss. And I just kind of sat there for a few days, just hanging out, whatever, just checking her out.
Okay.
And, she was very demure, like always looked down, didn't say much, very quiet, whatever. And I remember one time asking her directly, I'm like, hey, I just need you to be straight up with me, okay? Mm-hmm. Girl to girl.
Right.
I need you to be straight up with
Right.
me. Are you guys seeing each other? Are you seeing him?
Right.
Are you, do you
Is there
guys
something
have
going on? Right.
There's something going on. And so this person, this he, she,
Yeah.
lady boy.
Right.
Oh, no, nothing. No, I'm not like that. I'm not that type of person. Oh my God, girl, no way. I would never do anything like that. Nah. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, cool. All right, so I let that go.
You were okay at that point. You're like, oh, okay.
Okay,
maybe.
I mean, you confronted them.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do, right?
Nobody in the shop is, okay.
Yeah, he owned a web design company too.
Okay.
Anyway, so that happened, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And and then
First of all, though, I have to say,
yes,
was she cute? So you think, right? Because we women, we're going to check out who the competition might be, and right or wrong.
Right.
Again, you're just kind of like, I mean, compared to how I am, I'm fit, I'm this, I'm beautiful, I'm successful. So this person.
I have to tell you, I mean, she fooled me, definitely, or he fooled me, and he fooled apparently everyone else too.
Okay.
Because my boyfriend at the time was snickering later. This is when he came out and told me everything. He snickered later, like, oh, no one knows that it's actually a boy.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, like he was so proud,
Right.
that this transsexual, I think he was Brazilian.
Okay.
Brazilian, whatever.
Right.
So, but I found out also that this tranny was sucking up to my boyfriend because he thought that my boyfriend had a lot of money, and he didn't have shit.
Okay.
Like he looked like he had money,
right?
But he was fucking like I took care of a lot of stuff, basically, right?
Yeah.
So this tranny was trying to get the sex operation, basically. So that's why he was sucking up to him. Okay. So like I said, it wasn't the fact that he liked that. I didn't mind that he liked that,
right?
Because later on, when it all came out, we had a conversation about this because we kind of broke up for a few months and I let him go. Okay, I'm like, okay, do your thing,
right.
Whatever, you need time.
You broke up within the 4 years?
Within that 4 years, we took that separation, kind of, because he was like, well, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and I don't know, I love you, but I don't, exactly where I want to be, that conversation.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, and he was living with me at this time. We lived together for 4 years. And so I said, okay, well, go.
So does he move out? Does he move out at this point?
He did for a little bit,
okay.
And he was kind of coming and going.
Okay.
So it was about 6 months.
Okay.
And he left his dog, he left his animals all at my house. All his stuff was still at my house.
Okay, so there's still that connection. It wasn't a clean break. It was kind of like...
he was still coming back, basically, back and forth, or whatever it was, right? But later on, I found out also that he had moved his lover one street down away from our house. Was being the sugar daddy to this tranny, so that it was convenient. So for that 6 months that break was happening, basically, and I was still taking care of his animals and all his possessions, everything, right? Yeah, moved them one street.
Okay.
You know, so he can go back and forth
Yes.
very, very easily.
Right.
That's also part of that other betrayal. The betrayal just keeps going on,
Yeah,
right?
knowing that he's so close.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so
So you confront this person early on,
Yes.
because you kind of have a gut feeling about what you're just feeling it.
Yeah.
And then after that, you let it go, and
Right.
then how much later did you have this break, like this
the
semi
6
break?
months. It was a 6 months break, and then finally I said, you know what? And this is before I found out it was a transsexual. Okay, remember?
Sure.
This whole time I think it's still a woman.
Right. Right. You have no reason to believe that it's not.
Exactly.
So it's just another woman.
Yeah, it's just another woman.
That's the first.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And so we had that break for 6 months, and I finally said, you know what? I'm done. You know, why don't you come get your stuff? Let's finalize this. Get out. Go do whatever you need to do, and we'll separate our lives. And that's when he came back, and he's like, no, I want to be with you. You know, I want to make it work. And that's when he kind of told me everything.
Oh, after he comes back.
He revealed.
But not at the end of the 4 years.
Well, yeah, that
Yes,
was
at that
basically
point,
the 4
that four-
years.
okay,
Yeah,
that was-
right?
okay.
Because it was 4 years,
Yeah.
and then we had that break. So that's when he came back and told me, and I go, I need you to tell me everything. I go, you know, you haven't been honest this whole time, basically. So that's when he revealed everything, and I found out it was a transsexual. And
So
I'm
he
like,
sits you down.
Yes.
So you agree. You're like, okay, it's the end of our 4-year relationship. You're still in love with him,
Right.
but you know that it's not right.
No, but he wanted to make it work again.
Okay.
Because I said, you know what, let's finalize this. Okay,
see.
I don't want, okay, it's 6 months already that you've been gone and
Right.
whatever. Okay, what, now let's just end it.
Right.
Take your shit, move out.
Right.
You know?
Right. Clean
And-
break.
Yes.
Okay,
And
no-
that's
no-
when he came back and said, you know what, I want to try to make it work. I love you. I realize this, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
All that blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so everything was revealed. And that's when I was like, what? Oh, it's a guy. It's a boy?
Yes.
It's a boy. Okay, so now this is when I find out he's into transsexuals, whatever, you know.
So, and nothing against a transsexual, right?
No,
I mean, we're
nothing
not
against
talking
them.
about having a lifestyle. We're not
No,
judging
no.
against
Not at all.
a certain lifestyle. That's not, but in terms of honesty,
Yeah.
right, and transparency in a relationship,
This is
that's
the
the thing,
deceit.
right?
Yes, you know.
So not only is it you think it's a woman, but he's being unfaithful.
Yes.
But now it's, hey, now we're talking about, well, what does that mean for you? I mean, are you gay? Are you bisexual? Like, what do you say to him?
Exactly.
I
And
mean, I'm sure you're shocked to hear this.
you have no idea. That news was just so crushing to me because it was in addition, you know, it's like, okay, God, I go,
Right.
good Lord. And so now, you know, I have to be okay with this thing, which I honestly was.
Yeah.
After a while, after he revealed everything and said, you know, okay, I want to make this work and I love you. I actually sat down with him and I go, okay, in that conversation,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right, okay, give me a second. Give me a second here. All right. Maybe we can make this work if that is what you like, because I love you so much.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and we've spent all this time together. Okay, let me see how we can make this work if that is what you like and that's what you're into. Because remember, I'm very open-minded.
Right. So you were willing
Yes.
to have that sort of not open relationship, because now there's talks of thruples, right? Couples in that way, whatever that might look like.
Right.
Right. For however the relationship. So you at this point are thinking, okay, he's telling me he loves me. He wants to try and make it work. He is being honest, right? And
Yes.
but you're still in shock,
I'm in
right?
shock, yeah.
You're in shock. Now, are you in shock and you're thinking, right? Because not for nothing, I've talked to other women who have been in relationships and their significant other who's of a different, it's a normal monogamous relationship, boy girl.
Yeah.
And the other partner goes and with the same sex,
Okay.
right? It's a blow to their ego,
Yes,
right? Like
absolutely.
all of a sudden you feel like, well, what have I done wrong, right? Are those thoughts going through your mind?
Of
Like, am I
course.
not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? Did I not satisfy him? Like, I was willing to be open with him sexually, and he's telling me like, so.
I already had those thoughts thinking it was a woman. And
Okay.
when it came out, it was not and it
Right.
was a man. Now I have additional thoughts of, holy shit, how the hell am I going to compete with a dude,
right.
You know,
Right.
or a dick.
Right.
I don't have a fucking
Right.
dick. I can't compete with that.
Well, you're like, okay, do I go to Love Store and do I go get a dildo? Right? Do I, like, what do I do? Right? Do I go shopping? Like, do I do a
Yeah.
strap on?
Yes.
Like,
And remember, I'm actually okay with all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're still in love with him and you're still
Yeah.
trying to make it work.
Right. So that came out, and I said that
Okay.
to him. I go, okay, fine. Let me, you know, try to work this into our relationship somehow. If that is what you really like, okay.
Right.
But you know, but I told him, I go, but I'm sorry, it cannot be this one. This would not be the tranny that
Okay.
is going to be part of our life.
Okay.
Pretty
because,
much.
Because
Yeah.
you already felt like there's
that betrayal.
Right. The broken trust. And now you can't, there's no going back.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, but
Exactly.
is he, at this point, then does he tell you, oh, but I'm in love with this person?
No, he wasn't.
No?
He
Okay.
wasn't. And so we were back together for, I think, maybe a couple of weeks after that. And then.
Wait. Before okay. So you took him back.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple things right here. So you take him back, and has he agreed to stop seeing this other?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, he did
Okay.
at that time.
So, and you trusted him.
I did trust him.
Okay. And did you ask him, right? Because sometimes in these sort of situations, there's sometimes more than one person. We're not going to say, you know, male, in this case, because he's open to both types of relationships.
Right.
Did he say that there were
Others?
Yeah.
Well, he revealed others that he was with before, you know.
Before the relationship with you,
me.
with you guys
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So everything
Okay.
was revealed, which was a good thing, and that's why I felt a sense of trust, right?
Okay.
And I accepted him back.
Okay. And did you, I got to say, I mean,
Yes.
because some people are going to think about this in this world of like, you know, openness, but safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think like, okay, I've got to go and get tested?
Oh, yeah,
I've got
yeah.
to do
I
all
had
that?
him to go get tested
Okay.
too.
Okay.
I took him
Yeah,
to get
'cause-
tested.
Okay.
So all that happened, right? And of course, later on, about 2 weeks later, he said, you know what? I don't, you know, I'm not happy. And this is because obviously I'm not what he wanted.
Okay.
Whatever that entailed, right? So
Okay.
I think he went back over there. But my point about this trauma is that, yes, you as a woman,
Yeah.
you second guess yourself. Every relationship after him, which honestly I really haven't had a real relationship after him.
Okay.
And I think it's because of that relationship. I really, every single moment when I meet a new person now, I mean, like he's fucked me up for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Like I am so screwed up in my head and I don't even know how to change it.
Okay.
I even went to a therapist.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I've got a different therapist for you.
Oh, do
I
you?
do. I really do feel like she can help you.
Really?
Yes. Honestly, she's
Yeah.
been amazing for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Dealing
Okay.
with some trauma. There.
Yeah.
We all right going through this process of healing and to purge, because truly to hold on to that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Really affects you more than anybody else, you know?
It has.
I'm so proud of you for finally, like at this point, being ready to say, okay, this has consumed 10 years of my life,
yeah.
and now I'm ready to let go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to purge these feelings of, you know, anger. Yeah.
Animosity.
Right.
You know.
Resentment.
Yes.
Bitterness.
Oh, gosh,
right? Because those
yes.
are the things that eat us up from the inside, more than the other person who it's directed at. Truly.
And I tell you, you know, for the last 10 years, I've meditated, I mean, literally 3-4 hours a day. Now, after that ordeal, after the breakup, for about 2 years, I hid out in my house. I didn't go anywhere. I mean, I might have went out once or twice in the 2 years.
And why is that?
Because I was just meditating, trying to figure out, you know, from the universe and from God, like why it was happening to me.
Okay.
Like, you know, because I think I'm this, and this. I
Right.
mean, maybe I'm not the greatest person in the world. I'm sure I have my faults and stuff, but you know,
We all have our faults, by the way,
Yeah.
right? And so that idea
Yeah.
of, I know because you said God, and
Yeah.
I believe in God. So the perfection or this certain idea of how we're supposed to be, but we're all perfectly imperfect. So okay,
Yeah, no,
so
we
you're going
are,
through.
but you know, even leading up to that, I think I'm a good person. I'm honest. You know, I'm loyal, and you know, and for
and beautiful and smart.
Thank you.
truly.
And for this to happen to me, I'm still trying to figure out what the lesson is, because, you know, they
Right.
always say there's a lesson
Right.
to everything in your life,
Right.
right?
Right.
So what is my lesson to this that happened? And I'm telling you, I was so angry and so bitter for so many years. And I think, you know, like I said, I suppressed it this whole time. And just, you know, a few days ago, it just came back up. It's like, you know what? He doesn't deserve to be fucking happy.
Right.
You know, why does he deserve to? And
Right.
also now, obviously, he's not with that tranny anymore.
Okay.
But he's with a woman that is bigger than most men. Like, this woman
Okay.
is huge. She's a big bodybuilder.
Okay.
You know, so he
Right.
went from a chick with a dick,
Right.
you know,
Right.
to a
more
guy
masculine.
to a guy with a pussy,
Right.
basically.
Right. That's a good way to describe
that's,
it.
yeah, he went
Yep.
from there to there.
Right.
And you know, like,
So it clearly sounds like, right? What I just initially, the thought is, this is on him, right? He's confused. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know what he wants. I mean, you know, perhaps the lesson for you would be like, okay, this experience has happened. Let's talk about like some of the things, like because you don't trust yourself, right?
I don't trust my judgments,
right,
with men. I really don't. Even to this day, I'm getting better because of the meditation, but, you know, I think this is why I'm so fucked up in relationships, and this is probably the reason that I'm not in a relationship.
Okay.
Basically, right? And it's pretty sad.
So distrust comes from where, right? So you think to yourself, the distrust in yourself, is it because you didn't listen to that gut instinct initially? Is it certain things that you were red flags that you looked away from? I mean, there's a reason why we become the way we are. I mean, I can tell you from experience what my own experiences from shitty relationships and I mean, from knowing that there was a reason I was feeling that way, and you know, a guy I was seeing was telling me lies, same thing, and flat out I'd ask him, you know, and he would do certain things during the week, and then come, you know, Thursday or Friday, he's like, oh, I think we need a break. You know, I think we should take some time out, you know, and then after like 3 or 4 days, you know, come around again. And
that was
at
his
first,
excuse to see other women?
Yes.
Or
right.
other
Yes.
people?
Right. So initially I didn't kind of catch on that there was like this pattern every, you know, few weeks or so. And it turns out like, yeah, he was not. We had agreed to be exclusive, and he was not. I mean, I could probably tell you he was sleeping with a handful of, more than a handful of women at the time.
Wow.
And it was the same thing because I looked away from certain red flags, you know, that I didn't listen to the things didn't add up, or, you know, phone calls that would come in, text messages, you know, certain things that I was like, well, okay, that doesn't really make sense.
But I think sometimes we're in that relationship where we choose not to see it, or you don't want to rock that boat, right? If it's good, you're like, okay, well.
You're trying to let the small things roll, right? You're trying,
right,
exactly.
Now, do you think all men cheat? Because honestly, with my experiences thus far.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like, with my experiences, I feel like 99.9.
Yes, I got to tell you.
Cheat, and will cheat.
Right, and if it's not cheating per se, it's like a porn addiction. Okay, so that's fascinating that you just said that. And I've had girlfriends who have made the decision to break up with their significant others or their husbands because they have a porn addiction, or work through it, or work with it, right? If you can't beat them, join them, that sort of thing. So again, whatever works.
Porn.
Right.
I
no,
like porn,
I'm like, hey, I don't mind watching porn, so I'm okay. Like, I mean, I'll tell you, if that's something we can share together and that's going to spice things up. Yes. I don't think it should be the only way, but again, you need variety. After a certain amount of time together, you have to spice things up and you have to be open. That's just my philosophy.
And I don't think that's anything wrong with being open about, well, that's a problem.
Right.
Men, not all men, okay. Most men do not have the courage to be open about these things.
Right.
That's my problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a previous past relationship, and we went, I'm embarrassed to say, over a year without being intimate. And, you know, I mean, that didn't mean that we didn't, like, you know, pet or masturbate, but to actually be intimate, what is that? Like, I'm a highly sexual, like when I'm into somebody, I am a very sexual person, and I think that that's okay. I'm okay with it now, but growing up, I was made to feel like that was a bad thing. You know, a very being sexual. Raised in a Catholic by a Catholic single mom. Sex was just something that you don't talk about. No, you don't talk about, and you only do to procreate. Like it was not to be enjoyed, and you certainly didn't talk about it, and you didn't just do it for fun. So
times have changed, hasn't it?
It has, but it creates a lot of trauma growing up, going into relationships and seeking, especially without having a dad around, and then trying to seek some of these things out. You know, making mistakes along the way, seeking that father figure sort of thing. But that's a whole nother story. But
that's another topic for another day.
That's okay. Yes, exactly. But when we're talking about like red flags, I think is where we, you know, whether it's porn or men cheating, you know, can a man be faithful? I mean, that goes for some women as well. You know, I mean, there's a lot of women. It's where we have a lot more sexual freedom and liberation these days.
But I don't think it's in our DNA, though.
No,
it's in most men DNA to actually have variety and cheat. And like I said, I'm okay with that. I have no problems with that because I know men very well. My thing is, you know what? I just need you to be honest about it. Please tell me what you like. Let's do it together even. That's not a problem. But when you start lying to me, or maybe he was even lying to himself, I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that his actions, you know, and his decisions that he made really affected another person for the rest of their life. Like, I'm so fucked up. I really am.
So tell me, when you say you're fucked up and you're like, for 2 years, you literally become like this hermit trying to figure out what's going on.
I meditated for about 3, 4, 5, even up to 8 hours per day for that 2 years. I was meditating my ass off because I'm like, God. So I was having a battle with God, basically. At that time.
And were you mad? Were you mad? Like, hey, tell me what this, what is my lesson? What am I supposed to be learning here?
What the fuck is my lesson? Yeah, tell me what this lesson is. What is this lesson? That this person that I loved with all my heart and I gave everything to, you know, whatever, you know, that I was going to share my life with, lied to me. Lied to me every single day, basically, you know? Just flat out lied. And I was so angry and I was so bitter that I was like, you know what? I need to see something. You need to show me. Karma, I need to see some karma. And you know what happened? It did happen. Karma did.
Really?
I swear to God. Okay, thank you, Lord, for the karma part. Because I wanted to see the karma of the wrongdoing. And it showed me about maybe a year after that whole thing. A year after. So he gets involved with he gets involved with this porn star. And he was fucking this porn star, and the porn star's boyfriend showed up, caught them fucking. Yes, beat the fucking living shit out of him.
Is he a big dude or not so much? Okay, your ex.
Yeah, he was a big guy. He's a white guy, but yeah, he was big, whatever, you know, but not that big. I mean, but this UFC fighter was bigger than him. And so that UFC...
so he not just a regular dude, like he was a UFC dude who came to beat the shit out of him.
Yes, well, remember, my boyfriend, or my ex at this time, was cheating with a porn star, and that porn star's boyfriend was a UFC fighter.
Wow.
A big one.
Yeah. Well, he goes big.
Yeah, no,
I mean, he's
one,
extreme.
But he was also famous. They're also reality stars or whatever. So he gets beat up, basically, and the girlfriend gets beat up also by this UFC fighter, and she almost died. So there's a loss.
This was here?
This is here in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yes. So trust me, I am not proud of the association that I have with this fucking, you know, scumbag, basically. But, you know, unfortunately, this was this person that I was with. So what I'm saying is, he
didn't learn. Obviously, he didn't learn the whole experience with you.
He didn't learn, but it came out later that he was so fucking filthy. He was such a fucking dirty person. You know? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I second guess myself even more now. And it's like, I made a decision. I fell in love with this person or whatever. I gave this person a chance. And look at the decision that I made. I made a decision on this person, and this is such a fucking scumbag, basically, that, you know, and he kept repeating that act, right? So, you know, fucking porn stars, nothing wrong with porn stars. It's your job, I get it, that's fine. You know,
I couldn't do it, and I respect it, so. Somebody has to do it. If I'm going to watch it, somebody has to do it.
But he was just dirty, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And why didn't I, or the universe or whatever, why didn't I see that? Why didn't something inside of me tell me, you know what, don't go for that, Gentille. Like, maybe you might steer clear away from, but maybe people, you know, sometimes are good at manipulating, you know? So maybe I was manipulated. I'm trying to find reasons now for my actions, for my bad decision.
Yes. Well, again, so here's the thing. In that situation, kind of like, I think sometimes when people, they see the kind of people that we are, right? I'm an optimistic person. I like to try and see the best in people or in situations, right? I'm an optimist.
Yes.
As much as the traumas that I've had in my life, you know, I mean, for goodness sakes, my dad, I mean, he cheated on my mom. And so, my mother never remarried again. You know, she tried dating once, and that didn't. I mean, once.
So
and
she's traumatized.
Traumatized. She never remarried, and to the extent she's one of the strongest women that I know. But I couldn't imagine, like, you know, at that point, to not ever trust again. Never trust again.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the person who's. I mean, I didn't see him for many years. We were estranged for 15 years. You know, he's European, and sometimes the European culture is not such that you acknowledge your mistakes, you know, or say you're sorry, because it's a very ego-driven culture.
Right.
You know, so and to be Latin on top of that, you know, right? Kids are to be seen and not heard. Women are kind of supposed to be, right, a little submissive and not strong. So all those things come into play.
Chauvinistic almost, right?
Yes, completely. You know, I mean, it was kind of gross sometimes growing up and seeing members of my family, the male side, you know, joke about, you know, if I'd come for a visit and we'd be sitting, you know, in a restaurant, you know, that they would be regulars at, that, you know, kind of butting up or this and that because I was the girlfriend. You know, I'm like, I'm your daughter. I'm young enough to be your daughter.
Really?
I'm like, okay, that's a whole nother thing, you know, about, you know.
So he's playing it off like that?
Yes, it's just like
inappropriate.
Completely inappropriate, right? My God. And here is a person that I haven't been close to in my entire life that, you know, you still kind of seek the attention of your father figure, your father,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah,
and so that was a learning curve to be like, right? Instead of saying, what are you thinking?
Instead
of like,
we're fucked up.
Yes, I'm like, you know. So, and that has affected the relationships that I have made, like, you know, going forward from that I've had to, you know, kind of acknowledge and heal from to go forward. So, but again, so it's not you, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
I know.
So it's not you.
I know it's not me.
You know, and then the challenge is for you to maybe be a voice, right, for other people who have been in this situation.
Exactly.
Right, and to learn to trust yourself.
Right.
To trust yourself.
Well,
how do you think that would happen?
But I think not only that, I think the point also that I'm trying to make here, and you and I are both trying to make, is, you know what, that's a good point, but, you know, I want women to be a lot more outspoken and come forward, talk about those experiences, because I think it can help, you know, other people.
Right, because you didn't, right? Where you held it in, you kind of, did you not think that you couldn't call your best friend and say, hey, I mean, how does that start? How does that conversation start?
My closest friends, no, very few. I'm talking about less than a handful, you know?
Yeah.
They know about it, obviously.
Right.
You know, but.
Right. Because I'm sure there was a level of embarrassment.
Oh, God.
Right.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
But you shouldn't be. I'm
so embarrassed still, you know?
Right, but why? Right.
Yeah.
So you think about that, but why should you feel embarrassed? You are a good person. You did nothing wrong. Why? Because somebody else was able, right? So so let's take away that power, right? Let's take away that power.
True.
Let's give it back to you.
True. Yeah, but I'm telling you, this is the healing part of it.
Yeah.
You know, the first step in healing is being
open.
acknowledging, right? Yeah, talking
Yeah.
about it and just letting it go, because, like I said, I haven't talked about it for all this time.
So what made you? What was finally the moment where you're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to tell the world kind of this is what's been going on.
Right.
And
well, I have a platform now. I think that I'm able to tell my story, and hopefully it, can help maybe someone else, or to let people know that, you're not the only one that's actually going through this. You know, like all the stuff that happens in the world, and there's a lot of things that happen to us in our life and relationships, and it's okay. So no, I am, I know I probably still seem like I'm angry, talking about it.
It's a process.
Yeah, but, I'm getting there. And honestly, I've tried all this time to forgive. Mm-hmm. And I think I have been able to forgive, but I will never forget.
No. Absolutely.
Never.
There's a difference, though. There's a difference. I think that's the healthier way to be.
Right.
To forgive and really, honestly, to forgive yourself for feeling that way.
Yeah.
That's really more important, because that's when you take your power back, is to be like, okay, yeah, I'm not to blame here.
Yes.
I didn't, and to let it go, mm-hmm. right? But it's a process. It's not like a light switch.
Yeah.
Because some people, right? They make it seem like that's how it should be. Oh, okay.
Just forget about it.
Yeah, and we're
forget about it. Move on.
That's not really. That's not reality. No,
mm-hmm.
It's a process, and we have some good days, and we have some not so good days.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I had all these good days for, pertaining to this matter at least, for, 10 years or 8 years. Right. And then all of a sudden, the switch just got switched on a few days ago. I'm like, God damn it, I need to talk about this now.
Right.
But no, this is all true. And, if
what would you tell somebody? What would you tell somebody in your position, looking back, or even looking now at the person that you were 10 years ago? What?
Gosh, you know what? I honestly still don't know what the lesson is, for me, and I'm still seeking that from the universe and from God. Tell me what that lesson was associated at least with that experience. So, but my message is, women out there, or anyone out there going through any kind of trauma or abuse, speak up, talk about it. And there are places and people that can help you, and and for me as well, I'm sort of like a counselor to a lot of my friends, close friends, basically. Mm-hmm. So they come to me with a lot of different stuff, and I'll help them with their issues, but their issue is different from mine sometimes. So sometimes I don't have anyone to help me.
Yeah.
But I'm seeking that as well, and I'm just every single day I'm just trying to improve and get better and just heal. Basically.
Right.
Yeah. We didn't really go into your stuff, though. I'm sorry. It's all about...
Mine was not, mine was not as interesting as yours, truly. Mine's like bits and pieces here and there. And I think just in the fact that I could kind of, empathize with that. But I think that that what we are similar is the healing process, truly, and the strength and the courage that it takes to be able to acknowledge that and to talk publicly about it, so that other people, know that they're not alone.
Exactly.
Because silence is the biggest thing about healing, and it's devastating not being able to share those experiences, or feeling that you're the only one going at it alone.
Right. Or sometimes people are afraid to share.
Yeah.
Some things
that it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
It really can.
Yes.
And so I think that that's, the message, in addition to maybe, why does anything happen? And you're right, because I do the same thing. I meditate every morning. Mm-hmm. And I say my prayers, and the lessons that we've learned, we
have to in this day and age. It's like you have to find some spiritual outlet to be able to deal with everything that's going on, because if not, you're just going to
right.
Kill yourself, right?
Right, yeah. No, that, or, continue to
keep drinking. Well, we do that as well.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you so much, Alex, for being here and listening to me and sharing, I'm just all over the place, but, I want to thank you for being here with me today.
Well, thank you for sharing your short story with me and with everybody else. Yeah. I know that it's going to make a difference, and
I hope so.
Yeah, at the very least, they know where they can reach out.
Yes. So if you're going through anything of trauma or abuse or anything like that, please reach out to someone, and we also have a number that you can call that can help you with these things. And I'm going to look for, a therapist myself, actually, because I still need some help.
We all do. Will do.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you on the next The GSpot with Gentille.